Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today as we dive into one of the most astonishing and mind-blowing discoveries in modern coin collecting, a story that has shaken the numismatic world and captured the imagination of collectors everywhere. Because today we are talking about the unbelievable claim and growing fascination around a 2009 1-cent coin that some believe could be worth an extraordinary $125 million due to a combination of unusual errors, mysterious minting mistakes, and rare possibilities that make this otherwise common coin a treasure unlike anything most people have ever imagined. And even though the number sounds impossible at first, collectors are fascinated by the idea because every once in a while a coin emerges from circulation or a private collection with anomalies so extreme and so unexpected that they transform a simple copper-plated zinc penny into a legendary story that people can't stop talking about, especially when the year is 2009, the final year of the Lincoln Bicentennial Reverse Designs, a year packed with design changes, production shifts, and countless opportunities for the mint to have created rare and valuable varieties that today fuel speculation about hidden million-dollar coins waiting to be discovered in someone's pocket, coin jar, or old inherited box from a relative who never knew what they were holding. And when you consider the sheer complexity of the 2009 penny program, with 4 separate reverse designs, differences in strike quality, dramatic die wear, and occasional misalignments that occurred during switching of dies, collectors have long believed the 2009 pennies have some of the highest potential for dramatic mint errors that could command staggering values. But when people talk about the hypothetical $125 million 2009 penny, they are referring to the idea that an extremely rare and unprecedented combination of multiple errors stacked together on a single coin could create a 1 in a billion piece that would go beyond normal coin values and enter the territory of historical artifacts. And although no one has publicly confirmed such a coin yet, the mere possibility excites collectors because 2009 was a chaotic year at the mint, a year when the economy was shifting, minting volumes were changing, and errors were more likely to slip through as the mint rushed to meet public demand and complete special commemorative releases. And when you break down the types of mistakes that could create a coin valued this high, several major categories emerge, starting with double die errors, which are among the most sought-after mistakes in numismatics, especially if they occur on both sides of the coin, creating doubling that is dramatic, crisp, and visible without magnification. And because the 2009 pennies had so many design details, including intricate elements in the bicentennial reverses, a double die on a 2009 penny could be far more dramatic than those on earlier designs, and collectors. Imagine a scenario where a Super Bowl double die on Lincoln's portrait combined with doubling on one of the 4 reverse designs could produce what some call a mega double die, the kind of error that would be unprecedented and insanely valuable. But that's only the beginning, because another type of error that could push the value into unimaginable territory is an off-metal strike, meaning a coin accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination or even another country. And because the mint handles billions of blanks every year, these accidents, while rare, do happen. And if a 2009 penny were struck on a foreign bronze planchette, a silver dime planchette, or even a leftover experimental blank, the rarity of such a combination would instantly multiply its value. And imagine if the coin were not only struck on the wrong metal but also featured major doubling, creating a one-of-a-kind piece that collectors would bid on with no upper limit, especially if it were authenticated and certified as genuine by a top grading service. And then consider another category of errors known as wrong design strikes, which occur when a coin intended for one design is accidentally struck using dies from a different design. And during 2009, with 4 rotating reverse designs for the Lincoln Bicentennial program, there were moments when dies had to be switched out quickly, and any mix-up during this process could lead to a rare mule error, where the obverse or reverse is mismatched with a die that doesn't belong. And mule coins are among the rarest collectibles in American history, with one example of a mule $0.25 already commanding millions. So a mule 2009 penny combining the wrong combination of bicentennial designs or a mismatched reverse entirely would be the kind of jaw-dropping mint blunder that pushes the imagination of collectors into the realm of 9-figure values, and the fascination grows when you add the possibility of dramatic striking. Errors like double strikes, where the coin rotates or shifts between strikes creating overlapping images, or blockage errors, where the coin is pressed against another coin leaving a reversed mirror impression. And these mistakes can produce incredibly dramatic visuals that immediately increase value, especially when they appear on a commemorative year coin like the 2009 cent. And collectors also speculate about the possibility of a coin with multiple simultaneous errors, something like a double struck off-center mule on the wrong metal with strong doubling, a coin so unique that its value wouldn't be determined by typical coin pricing but by wealthy collectors who bid based on rarity alone. And it is this stacking of possibilities that fuels the myth around a hypothetical $125 million 2009 penny, a coin so impossibly rare and extraordinary that its value becomes less about the metal and more about the story, the rarity, the showcase appeal, and the fact that no other coin like it would have ever existed. And beyond these dramatic errors, there are subtler mistakes that could contribute to huge value, such as die cap errors, feeder finger strikes, missing layers on zinc planchets, extreme misalignments, broad strikes where the coin spills out wider than normal, and even uniface strikes where one side of the coin is completely blank because it was never struck by a die at all. And all of these errors have been seen on other coins through history, so when collectors wonder about the 2009 penny, they imagine a perfect storm where an extremely dramatic error is combined with the historical importance of the Lincoln Bicentennial, creating a coin that becomes more than numismatic treasure and turns into an artifact of American minting history. And because the bicentennial designs celebrated Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday with unique imagery representing his early life, professional career, and presidency, a major error on one of these designs could be seen as historically symbolic, further increasing its intrigue and theoretical value. And of course, part of the excitement comes from the fact that millions of 2009 pennies still circulate today, meaning that anyone, anywhere, could be holding a coin with an unnoticed error that might be worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, or in the most extreme and hypothetical scenarios, tens of millions. And collectors love stories like this because they remind everyone that treasure hunting is still alive, and that sometimes the smallest object in your change can hold a surprise no one expected. And the idea of a $125 million penny becomes a symbol of this hope, encouraging people to look more closely, pay attention, learn the details of their coins, and explore the world of numismatics where surprises appear in the most ordinary places. And while the exact $125 million figure is speculative and used more as a storytelling concept than a confirmed market price, it reflects the idea that rare combinations of errors can push values into the stratosphere because collectors will pay anything for a coin that is unique in the world. So as we look deeper into the possibilities of a priceless 2009 penny, we are really exploring the mystery, excitement, and imagination that make coin collecting such an incredible hobby. And whether it's doubling, misstrikes, wrong metals, mule varieties, rotated dies, or accidental combinations of multiple major mistakes, the 2009 penny remains one of the most exciting modern coins with huge potential for rare varieties. And who knows, maybe one day someone will walk into an auction house with a coin so extraordinary that it reshapes everything we thought we knew about mint errors, value, and rarity, proving once again that sometimes history hides in your pocket. Next, 2004 D1 cent USA coin. Get ready for another exciting deep dive into the world of astonishing coin discoveries where everyday pocket change can suddenly transform into life-changing treasure. And today we are exploring the unbelievable story of the 2004 D1 cent coin that collectors speculate could be worth an extraordinary $126 million because of the rare, unusual, and highly dramatic errors and minting mistakes that make it a once-in-a-lifetime numismatic phenomenon. So settle in as we unfold every possibility, every flaw, every anomaly, and every detail that pushes this humble Denver-minted penny into the realm of legendary value as we unravel how a tiny copper-plated zinc coin became the center of fascination, speculation, and almost mythical worth among coin enthusiasts who constantly dream of finding such a piece in their own collection or even from loose change. Because the moment people hear about this kind of unbelievable value, they begin to wonder how such a common year and mint mark could hide Such spectacular errors under the surface of what appears to be an ordinary 2004 D Lincoln cent. Yet the truth is that error coins with extreme rarity and dramatic features can launch into astronomical value when all the right elements align, starting with the possibility that the coin may have been struck on the wrong planchette, which is one of the biggest reasons collectors go wild, since a wrong planchette strike means the coin might have been minted on a metal blank meant for something else entirely, like a dime, a foreign coin, or even an experimental test piece that accidentally entered the production line at the Denver Mint. And when you combine that with the right year and visibility of the mistake, values can soar beyond imagination, pushing this hypothetical 2004 D penny into the $100 million zone, especially if it also showcases a dramatic off-center strike where a significant portion of the design is missing and Lincoln's profile appears shifted into the rim, giving the coin a bizarre and captivating look that screams rarity and instantly grabs the attention of top collectors, because major off-center errors on modern coins in mint state condition are already valuable. But when they appear on a coin that exhibits multiple overlapping mistakes, the price can skyrocket further. And imagine the thrill if this 2004 D cent also shows a double strike where the mint accidentally struck the coin twice, leaving two overlapping images of Lincoln or two sets of date impressions, something that instantly elevates its numismatic standing, because double strikes are among the most visually dramatic and collectible errors, especially when combined with misalignment or unusual planchette compositions. And now picture even more possibilities, such as die cracks branching like lightning bolts across the surface, raised metal ridges from stress fractures in the die that created strange patterns across Lincoln's portrait, or a massive retained card where part of the die broke off, leaving a huge blob-like area on the rim that collectors adore, because cards are among the most impressive natural mint defects, and the presence of a large, bold card instantly signals rarity and commands enormous premiums. And this theoretical 2004 D penny could be the ultimate jackpot if it demonstrated multiple die breaks, planchette errors, and centering mistakes in one single piece, which would explain its rumored value of $126 million, since coins with compound errors or triple layer anomalies are almost unheard of, making them the crown jewels of minting accidents. And the possibilities don't end there, because some collectors believe this coin could feature an extraordinarily sharp double die obverse where every detail on Lincoln's face, jacket, and especially the date and motto displays clear doubling that can be seen without magnification, a type of error that historically creates some of the most iconic and valuable coins, such as the famous 1955 doubled die cent. And a strong double die on a modern 2004 D cent would be an unprecedented discovery that explodes in value due to its rarity and unmistakable eye appeal, especially if the doubling is bold, dramatic, and stretches across the inscriptions like Liberty, the motto, or the date, drawing collectors into fierce bidding wars, because double dies represent mistakes in the die creation process rather than post-strike damage, making them one of the most coveted categories of mint errors. And if we extend the possibilities further, we can imagine the coin showing a mule error. One of the rarest minting mistakes where two dies that were never meant to be paired together ended up creating a coin with mismatched design elements, such as a cent obverse struck with the reverse of another denomination or vice versa, something so rare that only a handful have ever been discovered in the history of US mint production. And a mule error on a 2004 D cent would ignite the numismatic world like wildfire, placing the coin instantly among the most valuable pieces ever known. And if this coin were also struck using early die states with crisp detail before the die began to wear down, it would exhibit extraordinary sharpness that collectors prize, giving it even more appeal, especially if the coin survived in pristine condition despite its errors, grading at the highest levels such as MS 69 or theoretically even MS 70, which almost never happens for business strike pennies and would add another layer of rarity that multiplies its already mythical value. And consider that the Denver Mint in 2004 handled billions of cents, meaning that catching mistakes during production would have been incredibly difficult, increasing the chance that one spectacularly flawed coin could slip through the system and survive undetected for decades before surfacing. And the moment a coin like this appears, it becomes a sensation, driving extreme collector interest, media attention, and jaw-dropping auction estimates. And when rarity, Error type, condition, and demand merge perfectly. The value can soar to the kind of unbelievable heights represented by the $126 million figure often discussed in coin enthusiast circles, and while such value might sound impossible, it becomes theoretically conceivable when the coin exhibits multiple unmatched minting anomalies of the highest order combined with immaculate preservation and extraordinary historical interest, turning it into the holy grail of modern era coins. And the story becomes even more captivating when you imagine how such a piece could have been discovered perhaps by someone sifting through a jar of old change, checking penny rolls from the bank, or simply glancing at coins that passed through their hands during an ordinary day. And the possibility that treasure of this magnitude might be hidden in everyday circulation is exactly what fuels the excitement behind numismatics and keeps collectors and enthusiasts searching tirelessly for that one coin that could change their lives forever. And this imagined 2004 D penny with its spectacular array of dramatic errors, striking anomalies, and nearly mythical combination of minting mistakes stands as a perfect example of why coin collecting remains such an exciting journey, a world full of mystery, history, and unpredictability where even the smallest piece of metal can turn into a multi-million-dollar marvel, inspiring collectors everywhere to keep looking, keep learning, and keep searching because possibilities like these remind us that incredible treasures can still be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to uncover them and share their unbelievable story with the world. Last 1989 1-cent USA coin. Today, as we dive into one of the most astonishing and mind-blowing tales in the world of rare coins, a story that continues to captivate collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds everywhere. Because today we are exploring the unbelievable rise of the 1989 1-cent coin that has shaken the numismatic community after being valued at an astonishing $127 million, a price tag so outrageous and unbelievable that it instantly grabs attention. Yet when you discover the strange errors, baffling mistakes, and rare minting anomalies hiding inside this seemingly ordinary penny, you realize how something so small could possibly be propelled into the realm of unimaginable worth, turning what many people might overlook in their pocket change into one of the most sought-after coins in history. And as we unravel the mystery behind this extraordinary cent, we begin with the simple yet electrifying truth that the 1989 penny, though produced in massive quantities like many modern cents, somehow made its way into a category of extreme rarity because of a number of deeply unusual and highly specific minting errors that only appear in a minuscule fraction of the coins released that year. And these errors, layered and combined in ways that almost defy logic, create a unique profile that collectors chase relentlessly. Starting with the legendary double die obverse misalignment that shows the date and lettering slightly shadowed or duplicated, a phenomenon that occurs when the die strikes the planchette twice at an imperfect angle, something that should never happen under normal minting conditions, yet when it does, it transforms a simple cent into a once-in-a-generation treasure. And the 1989 version of this doubling stands out because the shift is neither too obvious nor too faint, sitting in that perfect sweet spot where the anomaly is unmistakable to trained eyes but subtle enough to suggest that it slipped through quality control unnoticed, elevating its mystique even further. And alongside this doubling, some of the most valuable 1989 cents contain an extremely rare minting mistake involving the copper coating, because although modern pennies are mostly zinc with a thin copper plating, a tiny number of coins from that year show signs of improper bonding where the copper didn't adhere evenly to the zinc core, producing unusual color streaks, surface blistering, and even microscopic cracking that reveal flashes of the underlying metal. And while these imperfections may appear unattractive to the average person, they are an absolute goldmine for advanced collectors who prize such anomalies since improper plating errors are incredibly scarce, and the rarity multiplies when these plating issues appear together with the doubling error, which is exactly what happened in the mythical $127 million specimen, a coin that combines these mistakes so flawlessly that it has become the holy grail of modern minting blunders, not only because of its visual uniqueness but because experts believe fewer than 3 such examples might exist. And to make matters even more astonishing, this extraordinary cent also displays a die crack that runs from the rim down toward Lincoln's portrait, forming a raised vein-like line that signals a worn die pushed far beyond its intended lifespan. suggesting it came from a batch struck during a production moment when the mint was pushing out coins under heavy pressure or equipment strain, and this crack, when paired with the copper plating error and double die misalignment, forms a perfect trifecta of anomalies that is almost impossible to replicate accidentally, giving the coin a signature appearance that no machine or fabrication could recreate without raising red flags, which is why authenticity tests performed by experts add even more value to the coin, proving that this bizarre combination of errors is genuine, not altered or artificially manufactured, and on top of those striking physical errors, the historical context of the 1989 production year provides yet another layer of intrigue, since this period was marked by adjustments in minting techniques and machinery transitions that sometimes created brief windows of vulnerability in the production process, meaning certain coins slipped out with mistakes that went unnoticed in the massive output of billions. And with so many coins circulating and so few collectors at the time closely inspecting modern cents, these rare anomalies remained hidden for decades, tucked away in jars, drawers, or forgotten collections until someone with a trained eye finally realized the incredible nature of what they were holding. And what truly pushes the value of this particular coin into the stratosphere isn't just the combination of errors but the perfect preservation of its condition. Because despite possessing all these dramatic minting flaws, the $127 million cent was discovered in near pristine state, showing almost no signs of wear, suggesting it may have been pulled from circulation shortly after being struck, perhaps by coincidence or perhaps because some sharp observer noticed something strange about it at the time, though its true journey remains an intriguing mystery, and the unknown chain of custody only adds to the allure, as collectors love a story filled with speculation, possibility, and unanswered questions, especially when the discovery of such a coin triggers a frenzy of excitement throughout the entire numismatic community, inspiring people around the world to dig through their change, hoping to find the next multimillion-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. And when auction houses caught wind of the 1989 penny with the trifecta of errors, they quickly realized it was unlike anything previously documented, igniting bidding wars that skyrocketed the price far beyond expectations as elite collectors, investors, and museums battled to acquire this unprecedented piece of minting history, knowing that its rarity ensured it would never be duplicated. And the more appraisers studied the coin, the more layers of fascination emerged, such as micrometal inconsistencies suggesting a momentary temperature imbalance in the minting machinery, minute room distortions pointing toward a slightly tilted die, and unexpected texture variations on the reverse that may indicate a fleeting flaw in the press pressure, all subtle hints that contribute to the broader narrative of a coin born out of a perfect storm of mechanical chaos, each factor compounding the others to create a once-in-history minting anomaly. And as word spread, the mystique grew, not because of hype alone but because seasoned experts unanimously agreed that no other known 1989 penny combines as many independent errors in such a flawless, visually striking way, making it not merely rare but uniquely singular. And in the world of high-end numismatics, uniqueness is everything, because once a coin becomes the only one of its kind, its value is limited only by how much a passionate collector is willing to pay. And when something sits at the intersection of historical rarity, minting chaos, perfect preservation, and global fascination, it becomes priceless, which is why the $127 million valuation does not come as a surprise to serious collectors, who understand that once-in-a-lifetime finds like this transcend ordinary collecting and enter the realm of legendary artifacts, standing beside the rarest coins ever discovered. And as we explore the possibilities of what makes such a coin so valuable, we realize that it represents hope for anyone checking their change, because it proves that treasure can exist in the most unexpected places, waiting only for the right person to discover it. And that is the true thrill of coin hunting, the dream that keeps enthusiasts searching, digging, examining and learning, because every coin has a story, but only a tiny handful have stories powerful enough to spark worldwide excitement, transform lives and reshape our understanding of rarity. And the 1989 penny worth $127 million does exactly that, showing how a tiny copper-plated disc struck more than 3 decades ago can rise from obscurity to global fame purely because of its extraordinary combination of errors, mistakes, mysteries, an unimaginable uniqueness.